Yo, Mario, yo, bless that beat, bless that beat.
Good evening. Good evening. You are in the building. Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday evening. Hope you're doing well. How's everybody doing? I see you in the chat. Good evening, Kamika. Good evening, Judy. Priscilla's on. Terrace, good evening. Dr. Ann, good to see you. New Mind, how you doing, New Mind? Can I call you New Mind, or do you have something else you want me to call you? Good evening, Corey. Good to see you on. As you come in, say good evening. I know that you're here. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Glad everyone is here this evening. Glad everyone is here. We're going to have a good time tonight. We are going to have a good night tonight. All right. All right, let's get going. Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you what you're going to do in the lives of your people, that we will see your glory in the earth. We'll see your kingdom come, and that your will be done in this earth. We ask that you bless this live community. We ask that you bless everyone on the call. We pray that your spirit of excellence would reside in the call tonight, that you would guide our eyes to see, and that you would open our ears to hear, and that you would even open our nose to discern what is happening in our environments, that we will be profitable, that if we follow after you, that you will lead us down a plain path, that you make all crooked places straight. So even when it looks crooked, Lord, you'll make it straight. You'll open up our understanding. You'll open up our minds to see and to hear and to discern what is happening so that we can be profitable in the markets. And for this, we give you glory. We know that you're active here, that it's not just by strength or not by might, but it's by your spirit. Yeah, we overcome by the spirit of the Lord. And so we invite you here in this live call, that you would meet every need of everyone on this call. Yeah, meet every need of every advancer in this community, that everyone that listens to this live call and that listens to the call after, that you would come into their life, that you would saturate every side of our lives, that you would overwhelm us with your presence. We seek glory. We're hungry and thirsty after you, after your righteousness, to be in right standing with you. That's where we want to be. And so we want to hear from you. We give you complete control over what happens here tonight. And for that, we give you praise, honor, and glory in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Well, let's hit the ground running this morning. You know how we do. Let's jump to the chart, see what we see. Welcome everybody here. Okay, difficult mind. Okay, I see you. Yeah. I didn't recognize the name, but it's still the mind. So yeah. Good that you're here. Good that you're here. Jeremy, good to see you. Joy, good to see you on the call this morning. Yeah, tonight let's this is what I really want to do with these evening markets. I really want to advance together, and I think a lot of what we do, you have to have a skill set development that has to occur if you're going to And this has to happen over years. Your eye has to develop. You have to learn, you have to understand. And the more that you see the chart, the better your eye is going to get at detecting moves. All right. When moves come, that you won't be on the outside, but you'll have the understanding to know how to move and move in and out of these markets. So I want to treat evening markets, because the markets move really slow, because they don't go really fast and you have time to analyze and do your evaluation. I want to treat this segment to grow and add to your repertoire. Yeah, I want to add to your repertoire. So we know how to do top-down analysis. We did that last week. It was the last call. Top-down analysis. We start from the month. We want to know where we're at in space. Okay. We also want, when we get down to the lower time frames, we want to have confluence. We want to have confidence in the trade. All right. And so we're going to continue to add on components every evening market that we do. We're going to add on components and evaluate those components. They're not standalone strategies. You know, we're trading mainly support and resistance. So they're not standalone strategies, but they are things that can give you an indication of which way price is going. All right. And then, so we're going to do that. We're going to answer questions. We're going to make some profit together if we see a trade. If we don't see a trade, then we'll answer questions. We won't rush it. I have my chart pulled up, but let's just get into it. Yeah. In the building. All right, cool. All right, so let me enlarge the screen so everybody can see it. All right, and so we're on Nikkei. We like trading Nikkei in the night. It moves through London session and different things. Let's just examine where we're at. If you look at let's just do this top-down analysis. We know how to do it. I'm going to do this really fast. All right, so I want you to rehearse it. You can reset every day, but we can do this really fast. It doesn't take a long time. So I'm just going to go full speed of how I would look at this market. All right, let's delete some stuff actually. Just we're coming with a fresh set of eyes and we can see. All right, so initial monthly, we're in an uptrend. Okay, boom. Not much to see here. Price is moving sideways. Okay, it's not really going anywhere. Let's look at weekly. And I know a lot of you mark out support resistance on the monthly and different things, but the way we trade this, you know, I just want to see if we're within structure, you know, high and low of range and whatnot. So stuff that's applicable to me. Just looking at TDI, different things that are applicable to me. I just see we're in the range right now. So I'm not really marking out anything on that. I just want to have my eye. I'm just looking at peaks. I say, okay, we're here, you know, and if you want, I can just throw this in here just so you can see what my mind is seeing. We can put some visuals on the chart. So I'm just seeing we're in the range. We're in the middle of this range right now. So we're moving sideways. We're not going anywhere right now. So nothing's interesting on a 3-day. And then there it is. Boom. We're in the range. So we need to break out of this range. So if we do take Nikkei, we're taking a range. Now we do have, I do see that we are trending upwards, but we're not necessarily creating highs right now. And remember, we're in the middle of the range right now. All right. So we getting resistance up here. And hopefully you guys can see this. If you can't, just shout at me in the chat. But we're getting resistance up here, and we're getting these drops here. So this is the ideal place to take trades. Is once it comes down here, it produces a high. We want to take it right there, but we're not right there. We're in the middle. We got the double top up here. We got this down here. So we're in the middle. So confidence is off from the higher time frame. It's not a huge confident trade right now. So now we're jumping down 8 hour. I'm just looking at structure, see where we're at, you know, and I can see that this was a minor level that we are retesting right now. So we know that that's there. Jump down to the 4 hour. All right. So right now I'm not interested in the trade. I can see that, you know, and we've been trading this for a while. So we know that this is here, that price. We know that this was a 61.8 level. It created this double top, pulled down, retraced 61.8. That 61.8 level was a retest of the trend line. So we were in this upward move. We broke that trend line and started coming down. All right. So we had support, and now we started to get this resistance that came right here. right? And so we went down, started going down, creating higher high or lower highs, lower lows. All right. And so where we're at right now, we broke through this trend line and we've come over and now we've started to create. So we're just looking at structure. We know that we're in the middle, but now we're in this trend line. So we get rid of this one. We can get rid of this one. This is where we're at right now, where we're in an uptrend. This was the last support over here and resistance. We just broke through that. So now we're creating a high. We broke through this level. And so now we're pushing up to the top. We're in this uptrend. So we can see that, that's really all you need to see is where we're at in structure. That's where we're at. All right. And you can decide from here whether it makes sense to take a trade here or not. We know that we should be looking at buys, if anything, because we know where we're at structure wise. So if we go down, knowing where you're at, that's really all you have to do with top down analysis. It's like that took like what? And I explained it. So we can really get through this in like a minute, 30 seconds. You can go from the month down to the hour. I'm explaining it, and that took 5 minutes. So if I was by myself, or if you were by yourself doing this, it should only take you about 30 seconds to do that analysis. We know where we're at in time. It's no reason to be on the hour and the 3 minute looking all the way left, like wasting time looking at what's happening back in March or what's happening back in May. Like your top down gave you where you were in time, right? And so that's the stuff that matters. That's what you want to pay attention to. Is this right here is the only thing that matters. You did your analysis. You know that the double top is in this upper area. You know that there is a trend line down here in this red area. You know the bottom of that trend is right down here. So you have 37,000, 37.8. You have 38.6. You have 39.4, 39.3, which was where that double top was. You know where you're at in space right now. You just broke through this downtrend, so you're no longer in a downtrend. You're thinking about up. And if it broke the downtrend right here, if we broke through, what's the next move? We go retest that move, right? And so now we can start. Now we got to the hour. We did our top down. We don't care what the month looks like. We don't care what the week is doing. We don't care about the daily, because now we have our position on the hour, right? So now that I have that position, I don't have to look at that again. It's just really quick, 30 seconds, look at it, move on. All right, but now that I'm here on the hour, and as I go down to eventually the minute chart, because I know where I'm at in space, if I've just created a high, what's the next move? Well, it creates a lower high on the trend line. All right, so those are trends that's stuff that we just got to know. If price moves up, it's called lower high, lower low. If price moves, if price moves down, that's lower high, lower low. Price moves up, higher high, higher low. Okay, so what do you think Nikkei is going to do? If you're looking at this up move, it's just looking at the sequence. And is your sequence going to be wrong sometime? Yes. Is that the end of the world? No. All right. So we have this double bottom that was here. All right. So price pushed up, then it pushed down. That's the low. Then price pushed up, and now it's pushing down. All right. So a couple places that it can test. It can test the trend line right here, or it can retest where it broke out at right here. If it's in an up move, right? So this possibly could be like right here in a retest of this area. All right. And then it heads to the upside from there. That's what we think is going to happen. We don't want to predict, but we want to watch price action. But that makes sense that would happen. That analysis can happen pretty quick. So now what you want to do, if you have that thought process, now you want to build confluence around, that methodology. All right. So let's build some confluence. We use the TDI, and then we also use things like chart patterns, candlesticks. We use MAs. We use session anchor VWAP. We use a lot of different stuff. We pull out a lot of different things. We use that. Like, it rejects off the 200. It's rejecting off the is trading below the session anchor VWAP. We do all that stuff, right? But what I just explained is just a naked chart. Got rid of all the noise. I know where I'm at, so now we can build confluence. All right. So a lot of you that follow us know that we like trading the TDI in different ways. We used to trade it very generically. Like we want to see a shark fin. We want to see it break above the 75 or break below the 25. Okay. That was good starting out, and we still do that. Then we graduated. It's like, well, okay, we want to see divergence, right? We still want to do that. We really like to see it at the 50, and we like to see it in the direction. All right, so let's look for that first. We're on the hour. Let's look at that. 50 is way down here, right? So it's turning flat. It was in a downtrend. It's turning flat, and it's going to be coming up. So that lends to what? You know, you start to answer questions. Well, if I just base this off of the 50, it may come up and meet it right on this retest here. It may be coming up, and that could be the place where we meet it. So what does that tell us? Well, tonight we probably should look for sales down there. Possibly. Not saying we are, but possibly. If we get rid of this just because it's noise, possibly we can look for sales down there. Okay. We know that. That's fine. We got an exhaustion wick that lends to that. Okay, we got an hour exhaustion wick. It couldn't close below above that. Okay, so it may be coming down to create the lower high. All right, so that's initially in our mindset. TDI lends to that. Oh, okay. TDI has divergence. We created the higher high here. We created a higher high here. This was the last higher high. All right, so TDI, that's the high, and this is the high. All right, so to get from this circle to this circle, I gotta go like that. To get from this circle to this circle, I gotta go like this. All right, so those are divergent. TDI and RSI are divergent one to another. That's a signal that it's going to turn around, right? That signal that it's going to turn around, and then you have an hour exhaustion here, and then you have a possible retest area here or here, says, oh, it may be a short. We may be shorting this. All right, so stop loss can be pulled above here, and then we take that to either here or here. All right, everybody with me now? Now, is this counter trend or with trend? It's counter trend, right? And so if it is counter trend, it could turn around at any given point. All right, so we got to be cognizant of that. But right now we're thinking shorts. Okay, so we got that information just from our top-down analysis. Really, that can go really quick for you to understand that, or for you to do that. I want you to, everyone, whether you're new to trading or whether you've been trading for a while, I want you to do charting. Get that charting time when you're off of the live calls, just when you're on your own. I want you to get proficient at jumping from the month down to the hour in less than 5 minutes, really less than 2 minutes. Jump from the month to the hour and get to the decision that I just got to in 1 to 2 minutes is all it should take you to jump from the month down to the hour. All right, it's taking me a little longer because I'm explaining this of why I'm looking at these Nikkei shorts. All right. Now, okay, so that's where we're at. We want you to practice that, getting down to 1 to 2 hours. All right. So there's a few other things that I see here, and we're going to talk about patterns and different things. Let me ask the chat. Do any of you see a specific pattern or a specific candlestick that indicates where we're at in time? Can anybody in chat see anything? I know you got your charts up. You're charting with me. We're bullish and we're counter trend. So we want to be in the buys as well. So we may, if this comes down, we may come back up. But Jeremy says you see a head and shoulder. Do you see a head and shoulder, or do you see an inverted head and shoulder? Let me know that. And then we'll start to step down in the timing. Inverted. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, and that's right. I mean, it's a whenever you see Yeah, inverted, Dr. and Jeremy. Yeah, so this double top up here, it's called an M pattern. All right. So that's the first pattern, is that we're going in this up move. This is an up move. It's creating highs and lows, right? So we're in an up move here. We got support on the bottom. All right. And so what tells you that move is going to turn around are these reversal patterns that we see. We see the M. So we call this a double top or an M pattern. Right. And so this is a sign that the market is getting ready to turn around. Right. So those are M patterns. If you invert that on its head, it'll be a W pattern where you have a double bottom. It's an indication of where you turn around. The way you trade that, I mean, we trade it from here because we just see the double top. But it could just keep pushing up and use that as support. It doesn't have to stop there. And so the way that we trade that is, this is the neckline of that right here. We wait for that break, and then we wait for that retest, and we enter off of this retest. All right, so you can see that's what happened. It broke this neckline. Here's the retest right here, and then this is the trade down. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking for tonight, is we're looking for a retest and trade down. Now, what you're talking about tonight is that we were in a downtrend, right? And so now what is the pattern that we're breaking this downtrend? And what Jeremy said and what Dr. Ann said is this inverted head and shoulder. You have the left shoulder here, you have the right shoulder, and then, or excuse me, the head, and then you have the right shoulder. All right, it comes down, it hits a resistance, and then it pushes further down. All right, and then it comes up, gets close, it can hit above or at, but it gets close to it, and then it comes back down, forms that right shoulder. And what happens is it breaks this neckline. It breaks this neckline here, right? And once that breaks, the next move is that it comes and retests, and then it pushes up. Now, usually what you can do is you measure the length. So for instance, on this M pattern, if you go from the top of the M to the neckline, that should be your take profit on the retest. So you bring that down where it broke the retest, and look at there where it broke the retest, it came down. It came down, and that's exactly where the take profit is, right? All right, so it's the same thing over here, is that you measure from the head all the way to the neckline, right? And then you measure where it breaks out, and that's your target. Your target is up here. Oh, that's on the daily, that's a zone, that's a major level, right? And so now that's a profit target. All right, so now, having said all that, what we do with these patterns is, and you know, you could get tricked on these patterns sometimes. It may not work, so you need that retest first. You just don't blindly enter into it. You need the retest. So with that pattern, what it retests is the neckline. Neckline is actually all the way down here. All right, so neckline, if you just connect the right shoulder, left shoulder, it's at this area where, oh, the 1 hour 50 is. Oh, where the right shoulder is. All right, so if we look at a possible trade, is a trade down to the neckline to be retested. We pull the stop loss below that right shoulder liquidity, right down here. We pull it right here. And where's our take profit? Our take profit is the measurement from the head to the neckline, which is right here, right? And that's the trade right there. That's what we're looking for tonight. Now, we can treat this in two different ways. We can say, okay, well, let's take the sell down here. All right, so you could possibly do that. Or we can set the alert that when it gets down here, TDI should have corrected itself, right? So either here or down here, and take the trade up from there all the way up here, right? And so this is the risk, is that if I take it down, I can get a one and a half type risk reward. Or if I take it here, it'll be a 1 to 2.5. That's a pretty good risk reward. I'll probably end up taking it if it comes down here tonight. Or if it comes down here, this is a 1 to 4 risk reward, right? And let's say you're wrong. You only would have to be right 20 to 30% of the time with a 1 to 4 risk reward, because when you get it right, it's going to be a winner. You're going to risk a little to gain a lot, right? So doesn't matter what the win rate is, because your risk reward is greater, right? And you can back test this. This plays out a lot. We just back tested this one. It plays out. All right. The 61.8 that came here, was there a reversal pattern? Yeah, this was the neckline that this came up and retested and then fell back down. Because once you have resistance or support, once you find support usually gets tested as resistance. So it's support, and that's the retest, and that's the neckline. So yeah, it comes back down. All right. So that's the kind of stuff that we want to start doing, is looking for certain signals. Now, okay, you can just quickly see that with your eye. Okay, I know where I'm at in space, did the top-down analysis, know where I'm at in space, and so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the sell down here tonight, or if it goes, I'm looking for the buy up, right? Because that's what structure is showing us right now. And if you're used to morning markets, you're going to be impatient and look for that right away. But in evening markets, you really have to be patient. You can either set limit orders at this point, or you can just wait. If it doesn't come to you tonight, you can wait till the morning. Now, I know coming into this market, leaving this morning markets were consolidating. They're still consolidating. All right. And so we're not going to get movement tonight. I would be surprised if we do, but you can see that we're standing still. All right. We're not moving. You can watch this over here to the right. It says 0.12. Let's see how long it takes for that to move, that 0.12 to move. All right. Right now, the markets are consolidating across the board, and you have to get used to the markets changing. Sometimes these numbers move really fast, right? That's a certain type of water condition, ocean condition, right? There's waves coming. That's a good surf coming. You can ride that wave. Other times, the water is very calm. It's not moving. And so that takes a different strategy. You're going to do a lot of range trading, and you're going to make a lot of money if you know how to range trade. If you know how to scalp, you'll make a lot of money in those waters, right? And so you don't have to change your strategy, but you do have to know what kind of waters am I trading in. All right. So right now, the waters that we're trading in are very calm. They're not really moving. Markets are moving up and down, and that's sideways. All right. So I have a little time to talk through this. Okay. Now, we kind of know where we're at. We kind of know what pattern we're trading. We kind of know where we want to take the trade. And so now we're going to start to scale down. And most people just jump to the scale down right away. Like they just jump instantly into the lower time frames without knowing where they're at in time. And so now I don't have to come back up to the hour to see what the hour is doing. Now I can jump to the lower time frames and trade it because I know exactly where I'm at in space. I can be confident. So now I can scale down. So I'm scaling down to the 15-minute. I see the bands pulled up. I see we're just ranging. That price is barely moving. That we're in a range above the 50, which is indicative of an up move, right? So I'm not really looking for just a drop from here. What I would love to happen is a retest of this top area, because that's where we're wicking at. So I would love a retest and to look for what? A double top, a M pattern that tells me that this is a sell. We don't have an engulfing candle, because when a red candle engulfs this one, it gives you an indication of that there's more sellers than buyers, right? So this is a red candle that didn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles have happened on the 15-minute. None of them has overtaken this one green candle, right? So it's 1 versus 5, and the 1 is winning. Okay, it's a fight, and the 1 is winning. All right, so I don't want to jump on the side of the 5 that couldn't take this one out, right? Because look what happened over here. You have 1 candle, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles couldn't take out this 1 candle. Well, where do you think the price is going? It's going back up, right? So that's candlestick anatomy. We don't do that. We can do it on the higher time frame, but as you know where you're at in space, as you start coming down to the lower time frames, that's going to give you confidence to say, oh, I probably shouldn't get the sale. I know Tim said it's selling, but I probably shouldn't get in the sale right now because it hasn't proven itself. Like, it's a fight 1 on 5, and for some reason the 1 knows kung fu. It knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and the other candles don't know how to fight, and this 1 is kicking butt. So I probably don't want to jump on their side. All right, and so what we're going to do is look for same thing we were looking for on the higher time frame. We're looking for a double top, right? So price is going to push back up. Now, if we get the wick the second time, then yeah, we'll probably get in the sale there, back down to where? Well, probably down to this area first, and then this area here. All right, so this is really where we want to take the trade if we're in the buy. We want the retest of the breakout right here. So we want to take the buy right here. All right, we could talk about Fibonacci and whatnot, pull from low to high just to measure what this area would be. But we're not going to do that tonight. We're going to talk about chart patterns, and I just want you to focus on the chart pattern right now of where we're at, so you can gauge where you're at in space. And we're going to go down lower, but this is what we're paying attention to: left shoulder, right shoulder, heads all the way down there. So that's not even, that was liquidity. That was a liquidity grab. And the target is, and you saw me do this in post this last Friday for that NAS buy. So this is how I did it. Is target, it broke through right here. So this is the target. And so now we haven't really retested this area. We kind of did. If I put on this magnifying glass and look at these candles, and let me draw a box. If you look at right here was the last touch. So if I draw a box, we kind of did break through, and we kind of did retest right here. So you potentially could be considering this as a retest, right, to the upside. Very weak. I would like a stronger retest, but you potentially could be seeing that that's a possible retest there that has happened, and now heading up to this area. All right, so we're still just gauging on where we're going to get in. I want to get in the buys, but right now we got to see if we have a double top here. If we break through, then we'll retest this area, and then now that's the new entry, the retest there, and we'll catch it up to right here, potentially up to here. And just so I'll turn this on, you can see that we're fighting up against the session anchor VWAP. So I do suspect that we're going to get the sale here back to the downside, which would be great, that we can catch a cheaper buy there. All right. So you can see that one confluence is adding on to another confluence, and make it make sense. that's what we're doing. We're making it make sense. All right. Okay, let me get to some questions, then we're going to go down to the lower time frames. The analogies coming. Yeah, you got to have the analogies make you understand it. The large candles, do they also show momentum? Yes. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yes and no. Momentum, it can be a little tricky because momentum without volume isn't truly momentum. You know, it's the beginning of momentum, and it tells you the direction. But there's no volume in evening markets, and so volume's going to start kicking in probably around 10 or 11. It'll start kicking in, but real volume's going to come in when during London session, and that's like we're not up at that time. It's like, or I'm not up. You may be up. I'm not up, but around that 1 a.m. time frame, 2 a.m. Central time. Once that starts coming, that volume starts coming in, then you get the true move, but it will start creeping up. All right. So markets are standing still, so I doubt we'll take a trade tonight, but good question. All right. So now we know where our retest is. Our retest is right here. We're looking for a double pattern, and we potentially can get into shorts all the way down. If we get into shorts, if it spiked up, we would look for the break of that neckline right here. It's a lower time frame M pattern. All right. So if you look at lower time frame M pattern, drag it from the top to the neckline. That's really your projection. And so now I have my line. I bring that to the bottom of the neckline. Look where it lands. It lands right here where that retest should be taking place. Isn't that interesting? So if we get a double top here and it breaks here, right now the projection is down here where our trade idea is. Okay, so now we have more confluence for the sales down there. It's starting to make sense of where that pattern is headed. All right, so now we can go down to the 5 minute. And remember that I'm doing this analysis, but in the morning, this takes about 1 to 2 minutes. If you practice over and over again, you can see this in 1 to 2 minutes, right? So you can go from a top down monthly, get down to the hour, jump to the 15 minute, and then know exactly where you are, exactly what you're looking for, and then use the TDI as confluence on the 5 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute. All right. So now look at this. You have a shark fin on the 5 minute here. And look where that shark fin is. It's where you're getting exhaustion. Oh, okay. So the exhaustion makes sense at this level. All right. Now, if we push back up, we're going to look how fast this TDI moves up. All right. So if it moves up really fast, we know that the buyers are no longer in the market, and we can take this sale down where? Down to here. That's where everything is pointing to. All right. And then we can take the buy from there. But if this barely moves and price starts pushing up, then price is going to come a lot higher. All right. So you guys identify targets that price is coming up to, and then you'll get that divergence because it's moving up slow. That's that regular divergence that's going against trend, and you take the sell from there. But now you have to look at the retest of the last high, right? You don't look for the retest down here. You look for the retest of the last high. All right. So hopefully this is all making sense of how we're shaping into this trade. We have a little bit of time because look, we haven't moved anywhere. We were at 0.12. Now we're at 0.18. So that 0.18 represents this move from here to here. It's barely. Can you see? Barely. Barely. I can see barely. It's one of those barely things. All right. So 5 minutes shows where we're at. 2 minutes shows where we're at. I mean, TDI is getting kind of high. We're looking for it to take that sale right here. It's not there yet. 1 minute supports that like it wants to go. And 1 minute is nice because you'll get those kind of patterns that we're talking about. We'll get that you can't really see it because but you get it pushed down and you create the left shoulder, and then it pushed down further, and then it created the right shoulder, right? And so now it pushes up. This is the neckline, so it'll tap that. And where is it going? All right, so you measure from the bottom to the top, put that there, bring it up where the breakout is. Oh, guess where it's going? It's going to where liquidity is. We already marked that. I mean, we saw that on the 15 minute that we wanted to see a double top. Let me go to 15 minute. We wanted to see a double top right here, right? What is the 1 minute telling us? Well, the double top's going to be right there. TDI is getting up high. It's going to shark fin. It's an inverted head and shoulder on the 1 minute that breaks. It'll push up. We got our projection tool. Let me grab my projection tool. We got the projection tool right here. That's it. That's the neckline. We bring that up. This is the area that we want to take the sale. All right. Now, will you take the sale? Will you take the sale up? Can you take the sale up? Yeah, you can if you want to. Like you see it. It just jumped up there, and you could take that sale from here to there. Yeah, that you can take that. And then because you know where it's going, you know that this is the double top area, and then once it gets here, you're looking at an M pattern now. You're looking at this right here, and then this is the neckline, and then this is the top, double top. You're looking for the double top, and where is that double top going? Well, from the top to the bottom is right there. So where's it going? Oh, it's going to the liquidity that we're looking for. So then you can take the sell down here, or you could take the break and retest. And if it stays lower, you can take it down to where our entry is located down here. All right. So is the trader is the trader that takes it up wrong? No. Is the trader that takes it down from here wrong? No. Is the person that takes the retest wrong? No. Is the person that takes the sell down to here wrong? No. Like everybody can have different areas of entry and all of them can be right. All right. Yeah, that's what we want to use this for is like, so usually when we're in these markets, there are strategies. We have people that are doing excellent scalping strategies on the 1 minute, 30 seconds. Is that wrong? No, you can do that on the 1 minute, 30 second charts. Then there's people that are looking for a longer risk reward. And so even though they're missing out on these 1 minute moves, they may not want to take this move. Like it just hit the projected take profit. So I'm not sure if anybody was in that trade, but it's coming up here. It's getting ready to hit this take profit. All right. But so you can take that move. You know, once it gets up here and you start to get that exhaustion and you see that on the 1 minute, we're almost there with we're going to wait for the divergence on the 5 minute, like that move right there. We knew where that was headed. And so we're waiting for that exhaustion, or I could be on the 15 minute waiting for that retest, and I'm going to take the red candle back down. All of those moves are correct. So just because one person is taking it up in a 1 minute move and one person is waiting for a 15 minute move, yeah, it's all correct. Why? Because they're all within structure. You're not wrong until you start trading outside of structure. Yeah. So if the retest breaks through, what do you do versus if it retests? Oh, okay, I answered that. Okay, good. All right, so based on that confluence, we have a few ideas here. Right now, we're up against the retest that we could potentially take this down, right, to this area or to this area. All right, so that's a possibility if we want to do that. We want to see the exhaustion here. We want to see it push up and then break through. All right, so that's a possibility for this. What time frame do you use for entry for the sale? All right, so really what I'm looking for, if you look at the hour is kind of up there. It's already diverged, but it's already up there. 15 minute is really where we want the retest. We got the initial signal really on the hour this hour candle was a lot of exhaustion. All right. And so then we started pushing back up. So we want to see that same exhaustion. That's going to be the signal on the hour, but we don't want to wait for the hour, which we can because it's getting ready to close in 13 minutes. The way this candle closes to tell you if it's going to be, if you're going to push through that or not. Big chance that we're not, even though we're bullish, we're going to have a counter trend move. But 15-minute, I want to look for, and let me zoom in on this candle. Remember the fight. Remember this one, it was 1 versus 5, right? So remember that fight. We want that same fight because the bears haven't won the fight yet. That one candle kicked the last 5 candles butt, right? So it hasn't won the fight. And so we're looking for this exhaustion candle. We want the same thing here. And then we want the, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. Couldn't overtake this one. And then two green candles overtook 1, 2, and almost 3, right? So the bulls are still winning, but we want to see if this next candle is going to exhaust like this candle did, right? Because what pattern is that? That's an M pattern. It's a double top. That's going to be the indication. We want that to push up, exhaust. We would love this divergence to be here on the 15-minute. And then we want it to catch it down, and we want this neckline to be broke and start coming down to our entry area. All right, so higher time frame structure. I would look for a time frame that I'm really looking at the 15-minute exhaustion. I'm looking at the hour exhaustion. Both of those candles are getting ready to close. All right. Not necessarily looking at the 15-minute, but I mean, look at this. It's on the 5-minute. Just look how TDI is shaping up here of how it's moving. All right, so we are climbing up in structure, which was really just a retest of this bottom right here. And we are climbing up. Could you have taken the buys? Yes, the answer is yes. You could have taken this buy up to this area to see this area retested. Nothing wrong with that. And I think depending on your trading strategy and what you're doing, will you have, some nights, do you want to trade this every night? So there's some in our group that will say, hey, I want to take 2 trades a night, or two trades a night, 2 trades a week or something like that. And with Nikkei is a great way to do that. You get in, if you look at your target. If you get into this buy the right way, look at your potential target all the way up here. All right, so that's something to consider is, hey, I really like the buys. Just knowing where your risk is, that your risk is all the way down here on that sale. All right, so buys for Nikkei, we really like the buys here. This could have been the buy. It could range. If it does fail at that area again, it's the same retest. Then if it creates the bottom, then you buy it there. All right. But that's the way we look at the chart. Any questions on what we're covering? I know I've been talking a lot, but any questions? And do you like this format? Do you like this format? This is a really nice trade to the top. Not a something that I would hold overnight. Like if I was in this buy, I would probably move my stop loss to break even, expecting that it would come down, and then just let it ride throughout the night. If you were in this buy at the bottom, all right, then you could move your stop loss to break even and just let it ride. All right. Yeah. It's we get that chart time in during night sessions. All right, so let's cycle through now that we've kind of know where we're at with Nikkei and where that's going. We want the exhaustion to happen. If we don't get the exhaustion, we're looking for the break and retest to continue this to the upside move. So now that we know that, let's just look at a few things. Just cycle through and let's do like a 1 minute analysis on every pair. All right. So DXY, let's just see where we're at here. We know we're at the top. We see that the day is coming down with the short. Yeah, we got the rejection. So we just broke this neckline here. All right, and then now we're retesting. So this looks like it's coming down. So we're looking at dollar weakness throughout the night. Okay, so what lends to dollar weakness throughout the night? Okay, so we got that piece that we potentially could be seeing a DXY, a bearish DXY, knowing that we're trading. We drop from here. We're trading below that. Bears have it on the DXY through the night. All right, so we got that. And just remember, we're bottom of range. So bottom range, top of range. We're just ranging right now on DXY. So having said that, if DXY is dropping throughout the night, then we would be looking at potential buys on a lot of these. And so ES push to the high. We know that we have the highs. We know we need the retracement. Just where we're at a higher high. We know that, right? And so we're just cycling. I'm doing the analysis that we just did. We're doing the analysis. This is the higher high, right? So it's given the pullback, and this is retesting this. DXY is falling. So potential buys in this area, or we can just measure the hour on the fib. Just pull the low to high, and we're at 0. And so profit target is right up here. We wouldn't want to take this until bottom of range, so 23.6. All right. We kind of went through this morning, so it's kind of the same thing that we're looking at. Pull this 23.6, possibly 38.2, but potentially hitting 20,200 is the 20,100 is the target on NQ. US 30 tonight with DXY falling. It's right now. We look at see this one. See, ES and NAS was really easy, but because it was already creating highs. But US 30 is just a little different in structure because it hasn't created the highs. And when you look at this, it hasn't given you a pattern at all. It just has the trend that's trending high. So this is more of a range. This is the top. The double it's pushed up, gave you a double top. This is really the neckline here, and it hasn't been able to drop and close that neckline. So it doesn't have a pattern to trade. So you have to do range trading on US 30. Best place to buy it, low of range or top of range. So not a trade that you would want to take through the night. Gold, which was a great gold buy today. We just missed it. Off of a shark fin divergence. You got the lower time frames will show it, but this is an inverted head and shoulder. You could have took the breakout and then the retest was right there and then took that to the high. But now we're in the range. And let's just look really quick at patterns or any recognition. So we're downtrend. We're this is the top. This is the bottom. So this is a neckline. Are we going to break that? So that's the only thing that we're looking at right now. We know where that neckline is. We know where resistance is. We know where we're at. We want to catch it around 23.20. Or if it breaks here, then we wait for a break and retest. All right. So really quick evaluations, doing the same analysis that we've done. It's just happening really quick. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to spend a lot of time. We see the months in a range, 3-day is in a range. The top of the range, bottom of the range. Right now on the lower time frames, we're starting to head up. So we're in the higher low of that major trend line. We're the higher low. So that's where we wanted to take the trade. This is the last lower high. This is the head and shoulder pattern, left shoulder. The bottom, you probably see it better on the 4-hour, and the retest where we broke out of the bottom to create that right shoulder. That's the retest. All right, so probably extend that left. Yeah, if it comes down here, great, but that's the retest. So what's the next place for this? Is either taking the trade here or taking the trade here to the upside. All right, so really the neckline's up here. Now that I look at it, really the neckline's up here. But yeah, so we know where we want to take these trades. Silver is the same as platinum right now. And yeah, we can start going through that. I want to hit currencies really quick. And on currencies, only thing I'm going to just check is knowing that the dollar is weak, we should be getting bullish momentum on currency futures. And so that's what you're seeing is we're starting to get that push up on the Aussie dollar. Like this is an area of opportunity, right? So more than likely, if I go to the 8 hour, we broke structure here and look at where it's retesting at. All right. All right. So I'm not going to explain that too much, but it was a break of structure right there. Now it's retested right there. Right now we're looking up. We want to see if it holds right there. So that's just really quick structure to look at. All right, we're getting close to that 9 o'clock. So I'm just going to go through these really fast. And yeah, so we're expecting these to be bullish. And I think that outside of the yen, I wouldn't be going against buy the yen right now. But the euro, if we see that the dollar is pushing down, the euro should be pushing up. All right, so those are potentials there. And I probably got to change that contract, is why that looks like that. All right. Okay, and that's all. You know, it goes really fast just to evaluate where everything is and if there's an opportunity, and that just comes from chart time. Nights like this, just spend half hour throughout the day. Find 20 minutes in your day and do this type of charting. 20 minutes a day. I think we're getting that rejection now. I think we're getting that rejection back down to here. So this is interesting. This candle's closing in 48 seconds. Then we'll get off the call. This candle is not. I just want to see if it's going to fall in the next 40 seconds. If it's going to start to drip down, because that'll tell. I mean, it's a 15-minute candle. You have this bullish candle here, and how much are the sellers willing to give back? And the test is failing right now. You don't have the exhaustion or anything right now. You know where it wants to trade, but you just don't have it right now. All right, so 13 seconds, 10 seconds left on this candle, and then the next candle is going to open. And it's opening up lower, but you just don't have the confirmation, right? And so next candle is open now. If you took this short right here, you had to pull up above this. Your first target would be at the neckline. All right. So the risk reward, you got to decide if that's worth it. And then the next target would be here. 1.5, would that be worth it? And then would a 1 and 3 be worth it? Or 1 and 2.5, would that be worth it? So that's kind of what you're looking at, what you're thinking about as you're going through this piece. But yeah, this has been a good segment. Even though we didn't take the trade, I wouldn't take a trade through the night. I wouldn't feel comfortable holding the trade where it's at through the night. I more so would say, okay, let me look in the morning and see where it went to, or just skip this night and say I'm just not trading this night. But if you see exhaustion come up here and different things, you kind of know what it is and you know the area to look at. I am just going to leave my alert here just in case I wake up in the morning and see that. And then I'm also going to leave an alert here as well. And we are bullish. Looks very bullish right here. You go to the 4-hour, it looks bearish, doesn't it? A 4-hour candle. I would love for it to push up because I would love to catch this 4-hour candle back down. I love to catch shark fins, 4-hour shark fins throughout the night. They just normally play out really good, or divergence throughout the night. And so I'm going to evaluate this one. I like the exhaustion here. I may just take a short, put in a small short position. So I may evaluate that one after the call, but hope you learned a lot. Hope you go back and listen to some of the concepts of patterns and candle recognition. Hopefully, if you get really good at that, it'll hopefully improve your trading. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to be up for probably another hour. So I'm going to look at this to see if I have the exhaustion. Would love to catch something like this. You get this 4-hour exhaustion candle here. That next candle opens up bearish, but we're in a bullish pattern. So I don't expect a big red candle, but at least a candle that pushes down for the retest is all that I'm looking for. But want proof first. We don't have it, so we're not going to trade it. All right. So good. That was a good session. I really like that. And so next session will be Thursday. Yeah, appreciate it, Joy. Appreciate it, Kamika. Appreciate it, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for evening markets. Corey, thank you. Appreciate it. And we'll be on live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to go through live markets with the team. Join us at 6 a.m. Central Time on the YouTube channel. And yeah, everyone have a great night. We'll see you.